Welcome everyone, as we're back and ready for getting into game number, well, I guess one, or match number 2 here for the RLCS APAC North Spring Split Regional number 2. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Quanzek, and Quanzek, you know, you may have missed out a little bit or a lot of bit or plenty of bit completely on the other matchup, but into this one, we're getting ready to see some method to the madness. Method of Madness will be our next matchup. So were you able to sneak thief any cool intel as we're getting ready in this current test lobby and go up against these guys? They made a pretty good run last time, at least a couple rounds.
Yeah, no, Method to Madness is definitely no slouch of a team for sure. It took me a little bit of digging, but I did eventually find that these teams have played twice in the Winter Regional, both going in favor of AGELITe. The first one was a sweep, clean sweep. The second one, they did a little bit better, 3-1, but still in favor of AGELITe. So maybe it means to a 3-2, but these teams haven't seen each other for a minute. Maybe they've been scrimming, maybe they've seen each other outside of the regionals, but this is the first time in a while that they have actually faced off in the RLCS mainstream.
And this will be very interesting to see how it all goes down, because we did see a lot from, I believe it was Nick, YY, and Tema. So I'm hoping to be able to see these guys be just as successful. But of course, I want to see a lot out of Maru. The dude was showcasing that he knows how to score. So it's a wild thing out there. The dude can score, and so can Popo, so can Shaolon, who holds down the deck. But otherwise, the 1-2 combo, Popo and Maru will come out to play. You know what? You and I saw Maru kind of showcase and then kind of fall asleep at the wheel later in his second round matchups. But that's because the depth on this team is pretty darn deep, and you know, not everyone has to be great all the time, and that's, you know, that's super fine. This team knows how to act at every varying level, and we know how to see these guys pop off individually in their own moments.
100%. I mean, you can peg Maru as that like ultimate front runner, and you'll be the one flashing the solo plays, the individuality, and be able to set up these brilliant plays between him and his teammates. But on the back end, you have 3 people on this team that can do it from anywhere. And they can do it offensively, they can do it defensively. I mean, this roster is so deep, which is why they are one of the best in APAC North, getting 3rd the last regional, but looking to give Tokyo Verde and Detonator a run for their money. Both of those teams have shown up to the majors, so here's AGELITe getting into one of their own for spring, and we'll get underway here in this second series. It's going to be AGELITe against Method to the Madness.
AGELITe this time will be in blue, and Method to Madness, well, if you didn't figure it out, they are in orange, as Tema will be able to get an early score here. Maru just didn't make a large connection, and a bouncer, I mean, that'll catch anyone off guard. Popo just can't catch up to it, and first few seconds, Method to Madness able to lay one in.
Yeah, kickoff is always difficult in Rocket League because you're just finding your initial position. You're getting where you need to be, you're grabbing boost, whatever the case is. So you can't really give a knock to any one of these teams for letting in the kickoff goal. But this one now, it's going to be AGELITe just going right back the other way. You know they weren't going to stay down 1 all that long, just immediately turning it right back in. And just a good team play here. Shaolon going for the bump underneath Tema.
That placement shooting has always been what Maru does best. He's going to make you look like a fool. He's going to be able to ball you, and that's what this team is all about. Execution and just being able to win individual battles. Shaolon, I like the aggression. He kind of sits himself back a ways, but because of that aggression, it leaves a wide open gap, and the rotation is just not there in time, and so this will turn things right back around for the side of M2M.
We have an absolute barn burner here. The 3 goals in the first 30 seconds. Good little pooch touch there by Nick, chipping it over to his teammate for Tema to slot in. Popo gonna win this kickoff. Maybe it's a kickoff goal going the other way, but now maybe we have our first bit of extended play here as this ball's falling into the middle. Popo, good 50. It's gonna make its way back into the corner. Down the distance goes Nick.
You know, you missed out on the first series. The first game had 4 goals in 40 seconds. So here's 4 goals in just over 40 seconds or 50 seconds.
Yep. 42 for 4 goals, although this one not in our favor. YY putting in that one, but It's just been weird ricochet bounces from really the side. One of these goals has been set up well for a team play from Method to Madness, but I mean, most of them are just fast-moving balls that AGELITE really isn't necessarily expecting, and this could be another, but Shalon defense holds strong, and now Popo on the transition actually able to get a touch, but YY will make sure his net is guarded. This one right back into the middle, and Popo doing well to make sure it doesn't cross over that midfield line. Maru from the sidewall, that's off the crossbar, right back out. Good look. But Maru wasn't able to put it home. Follow-up saved again, and Method to the Madness, their defense won't break.
It will not break. And that's proving to be a bit tough for AGELITE right now, as M2M is starting to be very, very stingy about their overall give up of these possessions. But there's been a lot of extra touches. And forcing your defensive rotation to be perfect can be very strenuous. A fake out, we'll call it that for YY, as Popo wasn't ready for the miss. There's have to be a read off the backboard, as Nick will be able to get there just in the nick of time. Haha, I'll be saying that a lot. As we have the first 2 minutes burned off the clock. It was Method of Madness that was here first, ready to go. That doesn't mean that these guys aren't hunting for it. Oh, Maru will go boost over ball.
Fell onto the backboard though. Follow-up finds the double tap, but it's gonna sail wide left. Popo dishing it back into the middle. YY gets a piece, but Maru making sure it stays in. He's got no boost in the tank though to pull off one of his brilliant solo plays. So instead, Shalon off the backboard, and they'll be trying this area time and time again, but it's always read well by Method to Madness before it gets into that midfield. And because of that, no second or third chances are being generated off of these rebound attempts, as we see the same story here. It's just an easy transition play for Method to Madness, and AGELITE still looking for that second answer.
There's some really good crossbar play off of the likes of Method of Madness's defensive half. Oh, that's a drop off, but a great read by Tema. He saw Shalon coming and sees him even again. Able to dodge the bump, create some confusion and chaos off of that next touch as before it handles itself into the offensive box. Maru looking for a bit of a chip shot that presents itself available for Shalon, but it's going to be Nick with a great read. A shot on target, and it's still stopped by Tema. Jeez, McGee's M2M goes end to end, and great defense is keeping this at a 2-goal lead.
They're not letting anything in, just absolute menaces on their goal line, and you know they don't need to score any more goals. Up by 2. Maru now trying to put in a second, can't find the double tap. It's gonna fall out to Popo, and he's met at the point of contact again. Double commit here. It's gonna turn to a team pinch down the other way. Shalon to Popo, Popo to Maru. Maybe Maru back in the middle looking for Shalon, but the connection just isn't there. The ball's too far in front of Shalon, and there's only a minute left on the clock, Monkey, and this one is the answer is not going to be found. But as I say that, Caster Curse, Maru going to be able to put in the second goal for AGELITE.
The answer is consistency, and consistency with your persistent pursuit of the ball. They put it from bar to bar, and even then it was barely going through. You know what? They were able to find another one, grinding it out. It took them 2 more minutes, 2.5, to be able to get this one nearly. Actually, they had 4 goals, inside the first minute of play. Count it up, though, as we're tied to 3, with Popo going top bar and in.
It only took 1 for the brick wall to fall, and now there's that lethal connection, Maru to Popo, and that'll be the 3rd slotted in. It was only a matter of time before the second one went in, and apparently they got the recipe now. Got that secret ingredient, and this game's all equalized. Maybe trying to get the lead here as Maru fixes out one in the sidewall, getting those mind games going. But Tema, a lethal ball to the backboard. That thing had some pace behind it. Popo taking a 50 in the corner. That pinch from Maru goes down the other way. 30 seconds left on the clock. He has a shot. It's a guy diving save off the post, but the second one goes in. I thought it was gonna be a save coming out there by YY, but I guess they didn't make contact.
Oh, they were just the tiniest inch of a bumper away to be able to get to the side of that ball. He dove it where it was and not where it would be. This is a 3-goal run for the side of AGELITE, as they have not taken Method Madness lightly any further. Popo, that's a pinch. Woo! That goes from in to in, side to side completely. Shalon's looking to bury it here in the zone. They've got 10 seconds remaining, and his AGELITE is trying to be able to put this one on ice. Popo will put this one sky high. That will be aired out. Doughton is killed, but it goes to the ground and actually bounces just enough, finds itself to the sidewall, and we find ourselves in a game 1 win. Would you believe it? It was 3-1 forever. The defense stood strong for Method of Madness until it didn't.
And AGELITE just able to showcase that that one was more of a mental game than anything for them. We watched 30 minutes of Rocket League of them slamming the backboard, hitting the post, watching diving saves in front of their own eyes, and they tried time and time again to put that one in, and all of a sudden the second goal goes in. How about a third? How about a fourth? And we're over in regulation in favor to AGELITE. So props to them. Gonna take the first game here, but we could have a serious series on our hands here, Monkey.
We could. I mean, I need to know from your perspective, after M2M was able to go in and sprint to a lead, they kind of hung on. They really weren't able to progress out too far, as it was more of like, all right, we can get these strikes, we can get these goals, we can be able to surprise them. And that could have been built upon Team Aqua prior, kind of lulling this AGELITE squad to sleep, especially when you get, what, 13, 16 goals within 3 games. You're like, all right, we can try to be doing whatever. Does this team have the quality approach to be able to really extend and score later in games and not just the beginning?
From what I saw that game, no. I mean, yeah, I thought you were gonna throw it to me and basically say, oh, we might get a reset going.
Oh, we
here.
are definitely gonna reset here.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna come back to us. Okay.
I would thought you were gonna throw it over to me and say, basically, do they have the ability to hang with this team? And you took the words right out of my mouth when you changed the question up. Do they have quality to score outside the first minute? And that's what I'm looking for. If they're able to put in a goal that is really rather more organized through the first minute, I give them more of a equal fighting ground in this game. But because I'd argue that in the majority of Rocket League series, you don't actually get your feet underneath you until that 30-second into the game mark, until that minute into the game mark. Because when you're opening up a series, you're figuring out what's this other team bringing. You're still settling to the mood. And granted, it's both these teams' second series of the day, but this point still stands. It's going to be a feeling out process, and M2M did a really good job of capitalizing on that. They put in 3 goals into the back of the net, but they couldn't break out of their half for the remaining 3.5 minutes. So that's what I'm really curious to see. If they can put one into the goal, maybe sub 3 minutes, I'll give them all the credit in the world. But up until that point, this one I'm going to side pretty comfortably with AGELITE.
Yeah, it definitely was the same kind of scoring fest that I saw in the first minute of game 1 with Team Aqua, where there was 4 goals. It's one of those sprints. No one's ready to really take on that pressure. You're like, okay, what's happening? Who's going to be that scorer? Who's that main person? Who's that main player? What kind of a throwdown you're bringing? And then everything settles in. You get that grind, and yeah, they didn't really go beyond the 7 to, I think, 9 shots that they had, but that was also all in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. So we go now into a reset, though. This is going to be a new server, new beginnings, maybe. So we get to see if this one will actually become a game here in game number 2, going to the Aquadome one more time. And I do want to see if YY, Tim, and Nick can do what they did before, just later in the game. You got to clutch up, you got to close out games, and you know, it's like going up 40 or 30 points in a football game, and then you're like, all right, let's run the ball from the second half onward, and then you just start getting ground and pound, and the team comes back.
We've seen this story before.
Yeah, too many times.
Atlanta fans shaking in their boots.
Look, Choklahoma too, man.
We'll get underway here in game 2, Aquadome. is the setting as it has been for this split. YY off kickoff, and this is more of the same. Oh my gosh, almost able to take the mind games to Maru with that solo play, just delaying that flick for just long enough to get around him, but could not sneak it shy of that right post, or left post rather. This ball's going to make its way back over the midfield line. We don't have the same flurry of goals, but M2M still looking to be a potential threat here as this ball enters the AGELITegg half.
Popo looking for his main man Maru. The 1-2-3 does nearly connect. Popo luckily does not leave his post, but it'll be YY. That's why. Popo was able to get a single connection, but didn't do it with a lot of power and kind of just delivered it to anyone that wanted it from the side of M2M.
Yeah, YY says why thank you, as that ball ends up right on his hood. M2M able to get a solid goal there, capitalizing on the mistake from AGELITegg, unforced. Maru good 50 though. Popo going to be first to get there. He was immediately up for that ball, but the demo on Shalon opens up so much empty room. Popo with the back pass. Tema read it well though. Dunked immediately. Second demo, you see M2M getting much more physical this time around. That's their second demo already. Oh, that shot gonna go just wide left for YY. And back the other way goes Shalon over top of one. Tema diving safe to his crossbar. Second follow-up attempt by Maru. That one's gonna go left, and Tema again will be called upon defensively. And back with the transition play goes M2M, but this one dumped to the corner.
They've challenged. Oh goodness, does this just go through? It does. What? Shalon, you sniper from downtown. He's like, all right, hold on. Bang, and just gets it off the nose of Nick. And that's one of those you're like, all right, I guess. But you know what? Give it to our boy Shalon, just going for the challenge and winning it out.
Yeah, good read there. Way to take the better angle. 50s aren't just pure luck. There's a little bit of science behind them, but if you're into him right now, you're sitting there like, are you kidding me? Like, how lucky are these guys? So, you know, it works both ways.
It does. And, you know, though it may be calculated and science does exist, it still requires a little bit of fortune. Maru, though, makes his own luck. Makes his own looks, and Maru with that flip reset, and they're forcing YY to have to jump early. Popo helping set that one up, and that's a free gap to be able to get the score.
That shot was so filthy. He got the flip reset basically as he was coming off the ceiling, and he fell down with the ball for like a solid 2 seconds, and then used the flip. That shot was disgusting. He made it look way easier than those mechanics are actually going to be. That's a really deciding lead here for AGELITegg. Maru gave them. He's looking for a third here, maybe popping up to himself over the top of two. Nick did get a piece of it, but here's Popo, double tap attempt off the backboard. Nick on the defensive stand again, able to hold true. 50 in the corner. This one's off the ramp and the ceiling, come back down, but Nick over the top of Popo, and now they go back the other way, chipping up off the corner. YY just gonna bail though.
Tema trying to give options and maybe just slowing the footing of AGELITegg as best as they can. Popo, he gets an extra flip. He gets another one. It's a dish to the backboard. Shalon will be all of a half step late, but that's because Method of Madness was there a little bit earlier. Double tap. Oh, it'd be a double. Popo, whoop, he kind of goes backwards. Oopsie daisies. And that'll be a transition the other way. They actually beat Maru because of the open gap. Nick will be able to put this one into a tied quarry 2-2.
There you go, M2M. You've sealed my faith that you guys can contest in this series. An equalizer goal just above the 2-minute mark and a brilliant transition play where you beat Maru. Okay, you guys are stepping up to the plate. You are maybe, I mean, I won't be swayed too far, but respect has to be given there off that play. This could actually be a third. That Shalon will fend off. Tema to the backboard, gonna test Maru. Maru can't connect it, but Popo will bail him out. This clock ticking down to 1:30, and we don't have a goal separating these two teams. M2M have stepped up in a big way this game, Monkey, able to not just play defensively, but actually go back the other way and generate some chances like that one right there.
Stepping up this game, stepping up this series. They started off fast and allowed AGELITegg to be able to respond, and now they've responded themselves, showing they are not a dead fish out here in open waters of Aquadome. Popo gonna give it back to himself as Shalon will retreat. Make sure that defensively they are postured perfectly. Shalon now in the transition over to Popo. Maru is going to be hunting for this. He's now looking to it. The dunk, the double, it's going to be set up. Oh my goodness, it's too clean. He navigates traffic and gets this lead back for AGELITE.
It's clockwork. He just goes up and he knows exactly where that ball's gonna be. Uses the flip he got on the first contact of the ball. He flew up to the ball for the double tap and didn't hit with the nose of his car to get power. He hit it with all 4 wheels and then somehow orientated back into a spot where his nose could actually hit the ball, flips into it, and bangs that one into the back post. I mean, Maru, absolutely disgusting. And Popo, he's gonna do the disgusting act of his own. These guys are gonna make me throw up. Look at Popo from the sidewall here. Oh my gosh, that redirect is filthy.
Oh, wow. When you get someone that can just lean back shot like that, it's just impossible to stop. Oh, it's great stuff to see. We'll get to see if Method of Madness will be able to drum up anything into this latter 40 seconds of play. Been able to put the pressure onto AGELITE. They have not aged a day when it comes to these connections. Maru climbs the ladder, and we get to this half-minute remaining. Method of Madness is again under siege.
Yeah, AGELITE stress-free. Their raging has remained light as Popo flip reset off the sidewall. Won't necessarily get the power on the flip to get it all the way there. But the solo plays this game have absolutely come alive for AGELITE. And they're holding on to a 2-0 lead as this clock ticks down. That clear is going to seal the fate for M2M in this game 2. So they'll head into a game 3 with a reverse sweep, staring them down if they hope to stay in the upper bracket and book their ticket into the semis. But man, honestly, I mean, M2M did well to get themselves back into this game and contest with their own team plays in the middle of the game. But at this point, you gotta figure a way to shut down the solo plays. You gotta challenge early because we saw there Maru, Shaolin, Popo, any one of them. Maru especially, though, they will destroy you given time and space.
Yeah, they always have a mind for the net, but they also always have a mind for the next follow-up, and they're looking for each other out there. Method of Madness, when they keyed in and when they were able to really shut down is winning and going early on touches against each of the AGELITE players. They did not allow them some open space in key points, and that's when they had those counter plays. We got to see one of the weird kind of flops that Popo could not find, and it was a bit of a fast read, but it went backwards, created that counterplay that M2M was able to kind of really make use of. I think it was Nick that ultimately shot that goal against Maru, but otherwise they've been very, very stingy and in the face, which is of AGELITE, which is what I've seen work against these teams, that if they're mechanical, if they're pass worthy, if they're trying to be able to connect to each other a lot, that's what you do. You do not give them any of that free time or free space to make these work, because otherwise, well, you're going to be down in a 2-0 or 0-2 hole here in the series. This is game number 3. M2M needs to reverse sweep. Can they do it?
I just want to see him be a little bit faster. That's the biggest thing, and this right here is exactly not the way you want to start. I mean, AGELITE just uncontested off of the corner here. Popo can't find the touch. I guess it sort of turned into a pseudo fake, but Shalon, he got the lightest little dinky touch on that one and just goes into the back of the net. M2M need to be faster, need to challenge the ball earlier, and that was the recipe for how not to do both there in that opening 15 seconds.
Now, we've seen teams score early. In game number 1, we saw 4 goals. And it was, in fact, a 1-3 against AGELITE. So M2M knows how to get their offense going. They just have to be able to punish what AGELITE cannot pick up. But that's a rarity. That is a big challenge. But Popo, make sure to take responsibility for it. Goes to the upside corner. That's a demo onto YY. Maru, keep any of that from permeating or turning into another offensive push. First minute of play. It's all of 1 goal. But it's AGELITE's for right now.
This ball Out to Popo. He'll do well to make sure it stays in. And he'll actually be responsible for setting clear back. And what a touch there by Popo. Doesn't use any boost that entire play, yet still gets it into the M2M corner. Now he's looking for Shalon. Shalon double tap opportunity off the backboard. Won't be able to connect, but this one's awkwardly over the midfield as Nick gets bumped by a teammate. And that's all the space Popo needs to capitalize going bar down.
It's crazy how quickly he can just shoot. I mean, that was a bit of a bump. I think it was a team bump between YY and Nick, and YY kind of backed up, said, oh, my bad. And as soon as they're like shaking each other's hands and shaking the dirt off themselves, Popo is shaking dirt off the crossbar, just ringing it with the velocity behind that one. So, bit of a clang off of that bang. We're approaching now 90 seconds here into game number 3, where ultimate control is still being held by AGELITegg. Oh my goodness, AGELITegg with another one. Shalon will dump it in. No, it doesn't go quite so.
It would have been a third. It goes off the ground, off the post, and stays out. But AGELITegg, the defense, looking more sound this game than it has in the previous 2. That one off the corner. Rising to it is Tema, but Popo just faster. Nick will have to recover and get to that ball. It's off his own corner, though. It's about falling wide. Good demo. It's an open net to shoot at. And that's how M2M are going to find their success. We saw a little bit of physicality coming out in game 2, but this game 3, that demo, it turns into a free goal.
No, if they can find more of those, they definitely are still in this game. In this series, in fact, they have just had to bank off of being a bit of a bully. And, you know, sometimes the kid who's getting pushed around learns karate or, you know, any kind of other martial arts, and he's going to kick your butt. Well, this time around, it was turn of the method and the madness from M2M. So sub 3 minutes to go. AGELITegg still has the 1-goal lead, trying to turn it back to 2. Woo! The quick turn. The defense has been pretty good a couple times from M2M.
This ball, Tema will be the first one too. Popo now shoveling into his corner. Shalon going to reverse the side of the pitch. Was looking for Mara, but waiting was an M2M member. Woo! And YY is gonna bury it. I had to briefly stall my calls. I had a cough coming out, but I mean, YY, look at the placement there.
Oh, it's only drawing out high pitches from me because that was good. That was a good shot. All right, see, it's all turned around. 2-0 becomes 2-2. Beyond the halfway mark of game number 3. Shalon trying to work the field now as he's looking to navigate some traffic straight into the box of Method of Madness. And you know what? They're not dead. No, they have some key opportunities that they did take advantage of. And that's something that some clutch teams cannot clutch up with because they have to have opportunities and make use of them. Well, these guys aren't letting them go to waste.
On towards the net. Trying to give his team the lead again. This one off this backboard. Shalom will throw it back there. Maru off the crossbar. But Popo didn't want to commit and actually gets balled by his own teammate. That ball runs into Shalom as he was flipping away. Off the ceiling, he'll clear it into the midfield. But YY just a good bang back. He's responsible for that equalizer. And I won't be surprised to see him get one more. 50 on the side wall to Popo. Mara will collect. He's dangerous in space, but he'll give up possession to Tema. He'll take a shot from range, easily turned aside, and either one of these teams just filling each other out right now. They don't necessarily want to make a mistake, and you can see the third man from both teams just not admitting. Oh my gosh, Mara! Oh. Wow. Had he been at like a foot further away from the post, that ball sinks in. That was filthy. That angle and he's gonna get it back anyways.
Oh, he'll get this one, but I was gasping for air, and you were impressed. It was the shot that just didn't finish, but we saw the angle, and you were talking about this team, like no one wanting to make mistakes. Well, the biggest mistake that any team can do when they face AGELITegg is letting Maru have open space to possibly make magic happen. They do finish it, and he will, and that'll actually be an attack by Nick. Trying to be able to get this one tied back up. M2M, Method of Madness. They're under pressure because they only have 45 seconds left to get this one back in their control.
And just look at the possession game here from AGELITegg, connecting with all 3 members. That started with a back pass. Like, these guys just don't want the trail on this ball to be orange. Good 50 there. Popo just has to get there, and he does. And M2M falling to a very similar grave that they were in game 2, keeping it even 2-2 throughout the majority of the game, but falling down to 4-2 with the seconds waning on the clock. And you know, they played a good game this time, or they played a good series, but it may not matter unless they can find 2 more in this remaining 25 seconds.
This is a possible sweep that more than likely will be a sweep, but it doesn't tell the tale of how it went, because this Method of Madness squad put AGELITe through some very good paces that they had to learn. They had to come back, and they had to be able to score and control M2M. But you know what? AGELITe, they'll thank them, they'll respect them, but otherwise they will in fact beat them. It's a 3-0 again. It's a 6-0 day. Be able to go in and up as they will continue through the upper side of this bracket. You know, it's just how it goes for the side of AGELITe. So you only get to see one series here today, Quanzek, but how do you feel about these guys? Earlier, bit of a you know, let's do some offense, let's make it work. What was learned against playing against Method of Madness?
It's, you know, win by whatever means you can. I think it's the biggest lesson here. That first goal, you had to generate team plays, right? You had to, it was just quantity of shots you had to throw at the backboard, constantly looking for rebounds, just getting those dirty cleanup goals, those janitor style goals. One of them was going to go in eventually, and when it did, you ended up turning that game around, winning 4-3. These other 2 games, it was all solo plays. The opportunities weren't as frequent as M2M found a way to break out of their zone. But once the plays did happen for Maru, for Popo, Maru absolutely lethal with the solo plays. Popo shooting just on point every single time with a ton of pace behind it. I think these guys, you're just going to have to adapt to each one of these teams, obviously, but they can actually succeed doing it. We saw their playstyle change just this one series completely from game to game against M2M, and you know, I wish they got, was it either 3rd or 4th in the last regional. So they're definitely a team that can go all the way. They got to find a way. They're going to run into Detonator almost surely in this upper semi. So if they can find a way to beat out Detonator then, oh man, this team can be spooky. But they got to get past the 1 and 2 first in Detonator and Tokyo Verde.
I believe, so if I look back to regional number 1, let me take a stare back, and this is how this always goes, is that every time AGELITe, be it when they were NIMT 55 or 55, or now as AGELITe, they always go to game 7 with Detonator, and it's always traded between these 2 squads. It's either Detonator gets it or AGELITe gets it, and then AGELITE always meets up with someone again. Then they even, this last time around, so they lost in game 7 against Detonator, went down to the lower 6, beat Hilltop, and then they beat Grace's Blaze, and then they went to game 6 but lost to Tokyo Verde. So these are 3 teams, the upper echelon of 3, that are in control of this region, and AGELITE does such a great job of consistently just, you know, trying to evolve themselves. And you know, Maru, when he falls a little bit short, Popo stands up and he's great. If somehow both that Wombo combo is taking a standstill to getting their offense going, well, Shaolin, he comes into play, and Shaolin's not the flashiest guy, but he's like their security blanket, I would say, if you were really kind of give them like a good kind of identification of roles. But overall, that team is just really solid. So glad to see that these master classes here in APAC North are just kind of getting better, and that AGELITe is aging well. So overall, I mean, you said we're on a collision course. What's the bracket looking like? I have not given it a gander since we had the upper 16.
Yeah, I did pull it up. Tokyo Verde came out in a clean sweep over the top of Shirogane. They will face the winner of Zephyrs versus True Parrots. That series is 1-1 right now. And Detonator versus Grace's Blaze is still wrapping up, but Detonator is up 2-0 with an 11-0 goal differential. So, well, we're gonna see another AGELITE versus Detonator upper semi, and I think I saw the Liquid PRL page tweeted that these teams, you mentioned that every time it's a game 7, I think they play each other 7 times, and every single time without fail, it's gone to game 7. So
Hey, look, that just shows how good they are. That's like you have that faded rival just always across from you, and you're like, game 7, and they're like, game 7, and it's just how it is. It's always gonna be game 7. Like, it does not stop, and that I love that, because that means we're always in for a treat for these two squads to go up against each other. I know as an AGELITe fan, I would love to see it be a little bit easier, but it's good Rocket League. So, here we are. Thank you guys, by the way, for being with us today. AGELITE GG, this is their newest Twitch channel, and of course, you're gonna be able to see more of their regionals come through here, and of course, more of this team and I guess this organization that's been able to pick these guys up. So, thank you guys for joining us. Quanzek, thank you for realizing in very capital text letters that you've been done wrong by your alarm. So East Coast is best coast, but it's also tough coast when we want to wake up to these. So thank you for coming with over here.
Yeah, I've learned that from here on out, I'm just staying up. Don't trust the machinery to get you up. So I will make sure my eyes stay open until the cast time and the 3rd regional. But it's always a pleasure, Monkey. And it's this AGELITE team is so much fun to watch.
They are. And of course, if you guys want to be able to see more of the cool stuff over with AGELITE, make sure to go check them out on Twitter. It's at AGELITeGG, AGELITE GG, and you'll be able to check them out there. And of course, follow this channel. This literally baby channel. It's brand new. Everyone, happy birthday to this channel. This is its first ever stream. Quanzek, we're getting a new child, a new stream.
Yeah, I mean, brand new, and they're pulling the most viewers I've ever seen in a team stream have. So shout out AGELITE, be here for the hype. Yeah, you guys, look, this is a good support cell. These guys are doing great things, and of course, this APAC North region, you guys are fantastic. So, awesome work overall, and I hope you guys continue to thrive. Day 2 is gonna be wild all over again. It's gonna see some sweeps. It's gonna see some game 7s. It's gonna see some madness. Detonator's already up 2-0 in Grace's Blaze. Zephyrs is another one of those squads I will keep my my eyeballs on. And of course, Method of Madness. I love. I got to see Squirrel casting for you guys the other day. I hope I get to see you guys go to day 2 as well and make that top 8. That'd be really cool. But for right now, it's very early in the East Coast. It's still somewhat nighttime or whatever on the West Coast, and you guys way out over there in the land of the rising sun. I hope you have a great evening as well. I'm Hell Monkey Man. That's Quanzek. That over there is AGELITE, powered by Metabolism, and of course, check them out when you can. You guys have a great morning, noon, and night. See you next time.